joga, eu fico de quatro. Tu joga dentro, eu fico de lado. Eu fico de quatro. Tu joga dentro, eu fico de lado. Tu joga dentro, soca com força, vagabunda, me deixa de chotar. Soca com força, vagabunda, me deixa de chotar. Soca com força, vagabunda, me deixa de chotar.
Welcome to the downtown studios of Cranford, New Jersey. You're here at the Commissioner's Cove. Alongside of me is my man, my ace Boku, the 13th Legion, and I am the Commissioner, Ricky Let Me Down, where we are coming together week number 16 of the fantasy football playoffs, where everyone is putting all their chips in the middle of the table and rolling out those players out there and trying to decide who they're going to start to win them their championship game or move on to the next round for the championship game.
Yeah, this is round two. Next week is the championship game.
This is it.
And this is our Christmas spectacular. Here's the L finally.
Sure is. So, do me a favor, you guys, sit back, relax, drink your little cafecito, smoke your little cigar, drink your little bourbon or your whiskey.
Or eggnog.
Or coquito.
Coquito, yeah.
And listen to two distinguished gentlemen talk about fantasy football, which we enjoy to do. Thank you for coming out today. Week number 16 from your busy schedule.
Yeah, it was a blizzard out there too.
It's been tough for us to get together, but here we are. We're bringing this together this morning on a Saturday morning. We'll cut this up and hopefully shoot it out today or tomorrow morning for everyone can make their last decisions.
Yeah, we're a little late too because we already had a Thursday night game. And there's two games. We're doing this before the Saturday games.
We sure are.
So hopefully you can get it out before then. But
sure are. So before I begin, I'd like to give a shout out to my man, Spaces by Jeff. He recommended the intro music. Thank you. Check him out on Instagram. The guy's phenomenal. He does a lot of video cutting, and he makes things come to life with his videos. So I appreciate you, Jeff. Thank you very much for the
yeah, absolutely. Go check it out.
Check it out for the introduction music. I asked you to come up with something, and you came up with some funky Brazilian music, and it was pretty good. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. All right, let's get this party started. Obviously, Thursday night was the Broncos versus Chargers. All right. People called us up or called me up, called you up, see who to start, and hopefully you started those guys. I'm not understanding what's going on with Sutton. It seems as though week by week now he was the man leading up to the playoffs, but for some reason he hasn't been really utilized as a wide receiver number one. So in essence, if you have him for next week, and if you're gonna win your game this week, and you have Sutton for next week for your championship game. I mean, you still got to roll him out, but he's not getting you those wide receiver one numbers. Why do you think that is?
I think the secret's out, and I think that everyone realized defensively that they had to key on him because that was Bo Nix's man for a while there.
Yeah.
And they're trying to Denver and Sean Payton is trying to change it up a bit so that they don't get too predictable. They got Mims involved more in the running game and maybe short screen passes. I saw a lot of that last Thursday night, and they've had a problem running the ball. You saw in the first half, I think 5 different guys touched the ball. No, I think with Cortland Sutherland, it's just the defenses are aware that was Bo Nix's main guy.
Absolutely, Ladd McConkey's still the guy out there to start over there at the wide receiver spot. And you know what, Mr. Edwards came alive. With the 2 touchdowns, I believe, and he looked pretty good against a tough Broncos.
Spry.
Against a tough Broncos defense. Okay, so. That's what we have over there for that game. Let's move on. All right. Texans.
Yeah, first game today.
At the Chiefs. Okay. 1 o'clock. I'm not sure if this is going to be cut before 1 o'clock, but, I'll put it out. We're going to put it out there anyway. 31 degrees. No chance of rain at all or
it's
snow.
It's going to be a cold day in Kansas City.
Yes, it is.
But no precip. One of the phone calls that you got was actually from me because I was like, I have Bo Nix or Pat Mahomes. Who do I start?
I started start Bo Nix.
And I did.
Yeah.
So far, it's worked out. We'll see what Pat Mahomes does. But, the Texans have a tendency to blitz. I think they're the third highest blitzing team in the NFL. And Mahomes doesn't have the mobility with that bum ankle.
No,
so
he doesn't.
And that was the reason why I chose Bo Nix. Let's just see what happens the rest of the day.
Absolutely. All right. Let's go over it with the Chiefs. Obviously, Travis Kelce is the guy to start. I'm not sure. Listen, if Mahomes goes down at all during this game, You're going to see the backup quarterback,
Carson Wentz.
Yeah, Mr. Wentz out there. He's not obviously he's not as good as Mahomes. However, I'm not starting any wide receivers if that's the case. D Hop, you better temper your expectations with D Hop, and they're activating Hollywood Brown. I don't know. That's just too many weapons out there. I'm not predicting Hollywood Brown to have a big game at all. Travis Kelce is still the main focal point out there with the tight end position. The running backs, Pacheco, are they going to finally use Pacheco as a running back RB1? Are they going to? I think they still split his carries.
They will split. Let's
So do
not get
I.
ahead of ourselves here. But you know what? There are guys out there. There are people out there in fantasy land here that are listening to us and like, well, listen, I have Hollywood Brown. I have D-Hop. I have Xavier Worthy. Which one of you or I, are going to pick one of those guys?
None.
To do something? If you had to pick one, who would be the guy?
If I had to pick one, probably be Hopkins.
Okay.
If I had to pick one, that's just me. If I had to pick one.
I could see that.
Right. With the Texans, obviously Mixon's out there. Chiefs got a good run defense. Okay. Still,
You have two of the top 4 run defenses on the field today, so I don't expect to see a lot of good running. Proficient running.
I
today.
still think they feed Mixon the ball and try to force feed him. I think he does okay, and I think they're gonna blitz. They're gonna blitz Stroud a lot.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna blitz him all day long, and they have Spags loves to blitz the Chiefs defense, and he's gonna he's gonna be looking for Nico Collins a lot. Obviously, you start Nico Collins and Mixon are the only two, in my opinion, for the Texans to start this week with the.
This is going to
game.
be, in my opinion, maybe an ugly, low-scoring game. Fantasy purposes is going to be disappointing, with the exception of maybe the defenses.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the next game. Steelers at the Ravens. This is a big game. You know, they play each other tough. Lamar, okay? 33 degrees, 11% chance of snow and rain / but nothing's going to happen. I think the forecast is going to be okay. What are we doing here? The Ravens, obviously, Mr. MVP, Lamar is a fight. He's a must start. Bateman is nursing an injury. Don't know if he plays. Aguilar is out. Is this the week that Zay Flowers shows up? Is this the week that he carries you? Because you know what? Every time you look around, he might get you to the playoffs, but he's not the one. He's not a league winner. But is this the week against the against the Steelers? I don't know.
I mean, if those other guys are out and Joey Porter's got his way, he's going to be blanketed all over Zay Flowers. I think this might be the week of the tight end for the Ravens.
Yep.
And it's definitely going to be a run game, but the Steelers don't have a bad run defense.
No, they don't.
This could be one of those games where you see Lamar running a lot more.
Yeah.
And maybe Justice Hill is the guy.
Yes.
That you should be looking for in this game.
I believe Justice Hill might come off this week.
So if you're in need of a flex play, a number 3 guy, and you're looking to put in a flex, Justice Hill would not be a bad bet.
I agree with you. And with the Steelers, Russell Wilson, is this the guy you're trusting in week number 16? Maybe in the super flex with the 2 quarterback leagues, but I don't know about this week starting Russell Wilson. No Pickens. He's going to be out. It's a shame because he carried you getting into the playoffs. It hurts you that he's not playing at all.
Well, see, the Ravens don't have a good secondary, a good pass defense, and it's a shame because you have your best weapon offensively, wide receiver wise, not playing.
Yeah.
So you're almost funneled into their run defense.
So Najee Harris, what are we thinking about Najee Harris?
I think he's gonna have a tough game.
Yeah, so do I.
It might be just like Justice Hill on the other side. It might be Jaylen Warren catching balls out of the backfield for Pittsburgh.
For Warren, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Warren is the guy there. Obviously, Najee might get the goal lines. He's going to get the carries, obviously, because he needs a power back there. But I'm not sure. You better temper expectation, Najee Harris, okay, on that aspect. What about Freiermuth? Their linebackers are okay. You think Freiermuth has a big game? I don't think so. Maybe 3 catches, 40 yards, maybe 30 yards.
You'd better be hoping he might fall into the end zone for a touchdown. But 3-4 catches, I think, is about the limit he's going to get.
Yeah. All right, next game. Giants at Atlanta.
Yes,
here.
this is the first of the Sunday games. You want to take this one for Atlanta?
All right, ATL. Mr. Penix is beginning his career tomorrow against the New York Football Giants. Okay, this is it. They're moving on for Kirk Cousins. He's gone, thank God. We're going to see what he's all about next week. I mean, obviously, he's his first start. They're going to probably limit him, but you know what? Let's see what type of poise he exhibits out there, and let's see how he utilizes his wide receivers. I think Drake London is happy. What do you think? I think Drake London is very happy if they funnel the offense through him. Obviously, Bijan's going to get his carries because they're going to, like you've always said over the last couple of years, the best friend to a brand new quarterback is what?
The running game.
The running game. So Bijan, you fire Bijan up. There's a big game for week number 16 for Bijan Robinson. I think you start him. Obviously, you start him, but I think he might go over the projection of his points this week, in my opinion. Let's just say they want 15 points. I think Bijan gives you 20-something points this week. I believe so.
I don't know. I say temper that. And let me just hone in on the Giants for a little bit. They held King Henry to 66 yards. The week before, you had the two best runners in the league, and the Giants kind of shut them down defensively. I'm not saying the Giants are a defensive juggernaut, defensive team, but they have done well the last couple of weeks against running backs. I think Drake London, and I don't disagree that the Atlanta Falcons are going to try to establish the run. And I think that's what Penix is going to need in order for him to throw the ball. But I think he will be throwing the ball a little bit more than you would expect a first-time rookie out there to be throwing.
You know who I am going on a limb going to say right now? Who are you going to see tomorrow?
Oh,
Do you know who it is?
For ATL?
Atlanta.
Kyle Pitts.
There it is. I think Kyle Pitts finally is going to give you some points tomorrow. I really do.
Well, listen, don't hold your breath. You've been holding your breath for 3 years on that.
I think Kyle Pitts is I think Drake London is the guy out there. I don't think Ray McCloud is out there. He's not going to get much. Temper expectation of Ray McCloud. If you're counting on Ray McCloud to help you out in week number 16 for your fantasy playoffs, then you're hurting. You know.
No, I think the guy, and we spoke about this in the beginning of the year when we talked about new offensive coordinators in new places. You know, Atlanta runs the Rams offense with the Puka role going to Drake London. The Ray McCloud role was more Demarcus Robinson, and Mooney was more the Cooper Kupp role.
Yeah.
So, you know, I know you said it's easy to discard Ray McCloud and say that it's not going to happen, but we do know, and one of the things you were excited about is that Penix throws a deep ball, a beautiful deep ball.
A beautiful deep ball.
And if he gets the time, it might be Ray McCloud. I'm not saying it's a complete unknown because we don't know how Penix plays. We don't even have a sample to choose from other than in preseason, and that was a very limited sample. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. It's a big risk if you're gonna start Penix in one of your playoff games. You're not. You're out. You're playing for something else. But
I'm starting. I want to see what he does.
But if you have to go to the waiver wire and pick up a quarterback, I doubt you're gonna say I'm gonna roll it with Penix and he's gonna get me to the championship game.
Oh, we'll see.
It's going to be interesting to see how he comes out because the other thing that came out today was that there was a rumor that Atlanta was going to probably cut Kirk Cousins before he gets a $10 million roster bonus before, I believe, March. The middle of March it was. So, So whether you like it or not, whatever you think of Atlanta and Penix, he is the future going forward.
Yes. All right, with the New York Football Giants, temper expectations with Mr. Tyrone Wheatley's nursing it. I'm sorry, Tracy.
Oh, guy,
Tracy.
You show your age.
Tracy, he's nursing an injury. He's questionable to play.
I would have, even if he didn't have the injury, Commish, I wouldn't have trusted him.
I know. So I think you really look somewhere else for Tracy because even in the goal lines, they're taking him out and putting Singletary in, and I just don't understand what the Giants are doing on that front. Let the kid learn how to run in the red zone. All right, you fire up here. Well, what's his name? Drew Lock is going to be playing tomorrow.
Yep.
All right, Drew Lock's going to be playing tomorrow. Malik Neighbors. How many targets Malik Neighbors gets? Obviously,
15.
All right, I believe they're gonna throw the ball to Malik Neighbors a lot tomorrow.
Yes, especially if they're down.
Yeah, he's the guy out there. Okay, you start him in your fantasy playoff game. Tracy, you temper expectations, and Bellinger, not much, and Mr. Robinson, not much at all either. All right. Let's move on to the next game. Cardinals at Carolina Panthers. Clear, 39 degrees. All right, it's cold. I believe I read something where Kyle Murray says he doesn't like to play in the cold, and then then you saw that. Then he
I
asked,
did see that.
"How cold? 35?
degrees?
Oh,
Shit.
so we don't know how Kyle Murray plays in the cold. I know what quarterback can play in the cold, which is Tua. I understand that, but we don't know. We don't know how Kyle Murray's gonna be utilized here. I'm going to say if you have another quarterback out there, I'm not trusting Kyle Murray, for some reason. He doesn't throw many touchdown passes. He hasn't been really running the ball, any bootlegs out there much. The guys who fire up is obviously Trey McBride. I think Trey McBride finally gets his first touchdown this week. I really do.
Nah, I think he's going to get 2 touchdowns this week.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So Trey McBride's a guy, and Mr. Reliable, Mr. Everything in the playoffs, Mr. Championship, carry people on their backs, Mr. James Conner. No, Trey Benson is out.
Yeah.
Out. So Conner is going to get all the carries with DJ Dallas going to be his backup. All right. So knowing that, and why is Benson out anyway? There's no injury designation there. It's just not trusting the rookie kid. I'm not understanding why they're sitting him.
I don't know.
Coach's decision.
But listen, you can make a lot of
Yeah.
I don't know, prognostications, implications, expectations, whatever it is. It's been a disappointing year for these offensive players.
Yeah.
They had 2 of the most exciting rookie players going onto that team this year, and they didn't utilize them, or they didn't utilize them to their ability.
Totally
That's
agree.
Harrison and that's Benson.
That's another one. Temper expectation. Marvin Harrison Jr. The guy he has the physical attributes to be a beast, but for some reason, Kyle Murray is just not throwing the ball. And when he does throw the ball, overthrows, underthrows, and says he has 15 targets, but a lot of the balls are not catchable. Okay, I think that all falls on Kyle Murray. And with the Panthers, Adam Thielen, he kind of laid a dud last week. We were expecting 20-something points, but what does he do? Cardinals don't have a bad defense whatsoever. They're going to focus on Thielen. I know Leggett is not playing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
The ones to fire up, in my opinion, is Mr. Chuba Hubbard is going to get the ball. Everything's going to flow through the running back. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
No Brooks in there, so Chuba is going to be I'm not saying league winner, but he is the individual who's going to get.
Well, so far for a lot of guys,
points.
he has been a game winner, a division winner, and a playoff winner already.
He has been carrying teams, hasn't he?
Yes.
That's a good pick in the draft, guys. No one ever expected Chuba.
Well, you know
Hubbard.
what? Chuba Hubbard, to me, this year was like the James Conner pick it was when Le'Veon Bell held out.
Yeah.
No one said, "Oh, Le'Veon's going to come back," and then for people fortunate enough to say, "You know what? Let me take James Conner, even if I get him only 3-4 weeks, you wind up getting him for the entire year."
Totally agree.
And he might have been
Totally
a league
agree.
winner for you back then.
Yep.
And this is the same situation with Chuba Hubbard
Totally
this year.
agree. No wide receivers, but besides Thielen, no tight end there, and Bryce Young. You would temper expectation with Bryce Young, and if you're starting Bryce Young and you have no other quarterback, then you better close your eyes, just pray. Okay, in our opinion. All right, next game. Detroit at the Chicago Bears. The Bears. All right, according to the forecast, it's expected to be 31 degrees, 0% chance of rain or snow. And that's crazy because usually in Chicago it's windy. Okay, so I'm not sure the winds are going to be here, but you know what? It's Chicago, and we all understand it's a windy city, and we know how the wind gusts are over
How
there.
cliche of you.
Right. So you just be careful with the kickers out there. Just check out before the game begins. The wind gusts is if it's over 20 miles per hour, go somewhere else with the kicker. All right. 15, 17 miles per hour, you're good to go. All right. But be careful with that. Now, this guy right here, Keenan Allen, has been really carrying teams in the fantasy playoffs. He really has. Keenan Allen has been carrying. He's been carrying people. DJ Moore. I think Keenan Allen's been carrying the team more than DJ Moore.
This is going to be a very interesting game. The Lions obviously are a juggernaut offensively.
Oh, yeah.
Inside, which
That's
is
right.
where they play.
That's right. That's right.
If they're smart, and because to your point, Keenan Allen has been killing it the last few weeks.
Yes, he has.
They better be playing up on the line to him because if they do not, he's going to kill them all day.
Yep.
All afternoon, he's going to be a thorn on their side.
Now, Jared Goff, like you just mentioned, Jared Goff does not play well in the cold weather. Doesn't
that's
play
well
well.
documented.
Yep, he doesn't play well on outside. He's a dome. He loves climate control. He can air the ball out. He's not. His record shows. It indicates that he cannot play in the cold weather. So you know what? Is he going to throw?
He's
50?
not as effective.
He's not.
He can play. He's not as effective.
Listen, is he going to throw 5 touchdowns like he did last week? 4 touchdowns, whatever it may be. 5.
I would be very
I don't
shocked
think
if
so.
that happened, and I think that what you're going to see in this game with Detroit is a shorter passing game. especially if it's windy.
Which means Amon-Ra is going to eat this game. He really is. And you know who else is going to eat? Mr.
Laporta
Gibbs.
and Gibbs.
And Gibbs.
Yeah.
Gibbs is going to eat. You start.
I think you might see more Laporta in this game than you have in the last few.
I totally agree. I totally agree with Laporta as well. Swift. You temper expectation with Swift. Obviously, running backs are not. They're not plentiful in week number 16. So if you got to fire up Swift, then you just hope for about 10. If you get 10 points, 15 points, chalk it up as a win, in my opinion.
I mean, Detroit's defense has been good all year, but they've been really decimated with injuries the last few weeks. So they're not what they were. Will they get at Caleb? I don't know.
Well, what do you think about Caleb in this game? He does well outside in Chicago. Usually what I've seen in the last couple of weeks when he plays in Chicago, he's throwing up 30-something points out there.
Yeah, he could throw up 30-something points
Yeah.
just as long as he doesn't do it with Keenan Allen. Throw it to a Dunze or something.
Right.
But yeah, I see Keenan Allen being the focal point of him. Maybe a little bit DJ Moore, but you're right. He does play better at home.
He sure does.
And he really needs to. And again, even though Detroit's defense has been decimated, they still can get at the quarterback. And we do know, throughout watching him through the year, he holds on to the ball too long.
Yeah, but he'll take off. He will take off and improvise and start throwing the ball on the run, which he focuses on who? Keenan Allen.
Yes.
So if you have Keenan Allen, I say you fire him up. Okay, I'm sorry. I know you don't want to hear that you're playing against him this week, but it is what it is. All
Well,
right.
I mean, if everyone knows it, including us, I think that defensively, Detroit's going to go in there thinking the same
Well,
thing.
we always say the same thing, but then all of a sudden you're watching the game, they're playing off coverage, not press all the time for some reason. All right, next game. Cleveland at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's playing for something here. They have to win out and with some help, which means they're gonna do everything they can. Joe Burrow is gonna be the man in this game. Okay. Joe Burrow is we all know he's a fantastic quarterback with those wide receivers. T. Higgins is going to play. The people who you're gonna obviously Jamar Chase is a league winner. He sure is.
I have a few years ago we were talking about how tight ends. There was always one guy, and that would be Kelsey. 100 points better than the second tight end in the league.
Yeah.
This year is Jamar Chase, 100 points better than the next wide receiver,
Yeah.
which was Amon-Ra in one of the leagues that I saw. And that's amazing to think about that. 100 points better than the wide receiver too.
He's feeding him. He's feeding him the ball. Jamar Chase is a league winner. All right. The weather's gonna be clear in Cincinnati. Okay, 32 degrees, cold weather. Both these teams play outside, so it doesn't. The weather's not gonna affect them at all because they both play in cold weather. So Jamar Chase is the man. Higgins, you start week number 16. You start Higgins because again they have to win this game. Mr. Chase Brown. Mr. Chase Brown is going to eat as well. He is going to eat.
This is a very interesting game to look at.
Yep.
I mean, you got on the other side, on paper, this looks like it should be a rout.
Well,
You got a healthy Cincinnati offensive type team. Mm-hmm. Not a great defense, but on the other hand, Cleveland's not a great offense. Mm-hmm. And they've been banged up defensively, so that's why you expect Cincinnati to score. Mm-hmm. But this is a division game. They always play tough.
yeah, but the Browns are starting the other quarterback. They sat down.
Dorian Thompson is playing. Winston is sitting.
They're
yes.
sitting Winston now. Dorian Thompson runs the ball. All right, he can scramble. He can run. He'll take off. So that's another aspect to the offense. The Bengals defense is not that good at all. Okay, they're not that good. Is this the game where Mr. Ford carries you in week number 16 in your playoffs? We were just talking about
We did
this.
speak about this before the podcast,
All right.
and I believe that Jerome Ford, you have to start. I asked you. We're going to talk about this game in a couple games from now, but I have Breece Hall and Jerome Ford. Would you start Breece Hall or would you start Jerome Ford?
I think I
And
got to go Jerome Ford.
I just don't trust Hall's injury. I don't trust the way the Jets are utilizing him, even though the other two rookie running backs have back injuries. We'll get to that in a second. But Jerome Ford, he looked good last week.
Yeah.
And he did do well last year in the absence of Nick Chubb. So
Yes.
he still is the same type of running back. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, and I expect that to be done this week.
Me too. Jerry Jeudy takes a step down. Okay, he doesn't become, in my opinion, wide receiver number 1 anymore. I believe he probably jumps down to maybe a wide receiver 2. Oh, is it a possible wide receiver number 3 with this quarterback? I don't know. I still think they feed him the ball. He's still featured out there. I think Jeudy is the one to start. All right, Njoku is questionable. He hasn't practiced all week. Even if you shoot him out there against the Bengals, listen, this is week 16. There's no room for error whatsoever. No room for error. You know,
That's a big chance to take.
that's a big chance to take to start Njoku out there. So if you have another tight end out there like a Brandon Strange or someone like that, okay, I think you go with the the tight end out of the Jacksonville Jaguars over Njoku. That's just to for you to understand what I'm thinking about. All right. Anyone else with the Browns to start?
No, I think it's Jerome Ford and Judy would be your
That's
your two starters in that game.
Yep. All right. Next game on the docket is going to be the Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis. Well, it's
No weather concerns
No weather
here.
concerns whatsoever here. They sat down Will Levis, Mr. Mason Rudolph is going to be starting. The last time Mason Rudolph took over, you know, he looks for one receiver a lot. I know Nakine is nursing an injury, so is this the week that Calvin Ridley gets focused on?
I wish I could say, yeah, I really had the best wide receiver schedules and strength of schedule for going for him.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that the quarterback play sucked.
Yeah. That they don't. Well, this is it right now, week 16. If you got Ridley out there, he's probably the only guy out there to start with the Titans. Pollard is nursing an injury. I don't know if Pollard plays. Even if he does play, you better temper expectations with Pollard. He carried you to this point, week number 16, well,
Yeah.
week 15 to get you into the playoffs, but he hasn't been showing up during the playoffs. So, you know, and Spears, are you really going to put out Spears out there? He's a little short. He's a little undermanned a little bit. You
He's
know,
a little undersized.
he's
but,
undersized.
You know, he did show
He
that
did.
he could play.
With the catches out the backfield.
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
with the Colts defense, EJ Speed is out there. One of their main linebackers is out. They still have Zero Franklin out there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so their defense is pretty good at home. So
And they still have Jonathan Taylor, and Jonathan Taylor is going to make up for that touchdown that he dropped.
I sure do think he's going to make up. I think Taylor is the guy. He might have a fantastic game.
Oh yeah, you might see him with 200 yards this game.
Haven't seen that in a while, but that's 2 years ago, Jonathan Taylor. But you never know against the Titans.
Well, we know Richardson. Alec Pierce isn't going to play for the Colts.
Josh
Pittman
Downs.
Pittman's been nursing injuries all year.
Oh yeah.
Richardson is not an accurate passer anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to vulture a couple of touchdowns and try to take off. But I think Jonathan Taylor is going to be the focal point offensively for the Colts.
And Mr. Downs, I think you do play Mr. Downs. He's going to get the ball quite a few times. He's the main number one out there. And like you just said, I think Richards is a good start here. I think Richards is a good start. I think, like you said, he is. If they get in the goal line, he's running for touchdowns. I think Richards is a good start here. All right, that's just
Well, if you're talking about good start, you're only doing it because of his running capability.
Exactly. But you know what? That's the way the NFL is trending nowadays for some reason. It really is. You know,
It's okay, keep it that way because I don't want Richardson on my team.
You know, it really is. Years past, you and I watched football for many, many years. We're used to seeing 4 or 5 touchdowns, you know, from the main quarterbacks all these years. Now it's 1 touchdown throwing and two rushing. You know, that's what we're seeing now for the most part for the main quarterbacks, the Allens, the Hurts.
No,
You know,
I mean maybe no. Hurts has thrown. I don't want to get into this discussion about what's going to what type of quarterback is going to be leading the NFL going forward. But it's still passing the ball. That's their job.
well,
And we both know what happens to a running quarterback
they
over
always
time.
get hurt, except for Lamar. Except for Lamar.
Lamar's gotten hurt before.
So next game on the dock is the Rams at the New York Jets. Clear, 26 degrees. It's cold out there. It's going to be cold tomorrow.
Yeah, and if it's as windy tomorrow as it is today, forget about
Yes,
it.
sir. It's cold out there. The New York Jets. Oh, man. Let me tell you something, man. Devontae Adams, for years, this man has carried people to championship rings, championship money, championship trophies, championship belts. Soon, maybe, you never know, championship swords. I'm just saying. Anything championship news.
He is not
whatever.
carrying anyone to a championship sword.
Well, let me tell you.
Not this year.
Not this year for our league. But that being said, I think Devontae Adams is coming off. I think, again, he's linking up with him. He's getting that back shoulder. I mean, it was one game. I
Oh,
understand.
so you're saying that this is going to be the same team next year for the Jets?
Ooh, I don't know about that. We'll see. But at the same token, Devontae Adams he's a must start. He's a must start. And so is Mr. Garrett. Garrett's getting a little frustrated. Garrett Wilson's getting a little frustrated out there. You know, don't be surprised if he asks for a trade. We'll see what happens with that. Brees Hall. I'll let you talk about Brees Hall.
Well, we'll see. You can go a lot of different directions here. One, he can't. There's no injury designation with him this week. They took him off the injury report, so presumably he's completely healthy, which I don't believe. But you got Isaiah Davis and you got Braylon Allen both dealing with back injuries. They practice on a limited basis. Do you believe that Brees Hall will be the center focal point of that offense? If it's going to be a windy, cold game tomorrow, you know, all advice and you know, analysis would say that Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be able to throw the ball down the field as effectively, and you're going to have to run the ball more.
But Aaron Rodgers played in Green Bay when he's used to that weather. So
that's true. But
I don't think it is going to affect him or Devontae Adams. They're used to that.
So, and if that's the case, then you don't trust Brees Hall, and that's the reason why I went with Jerome Ford.
Yeah.
So again, is Brees Allen going to catch the ball out of the backfield? Those are the extra points that I have to consider. I don't know. This is toss-up. I know everywhere you go, he's just stud. He drafted him in the first round, maybe a top 5 pick in redraft. You'd be nuts not to start him. But I just don't trust the injury.
All right, you heard from the co-commissioner himself. All right, the Rams. All right, Puka is a must start. You know, he's firing on all cylinders. They have to win as well. Cooper Kupp here. I don't know about Cooper Kupp. I think this is the game where he gives you way more than he did last week. Kyron Williams has been touching that ball a lot. All right, 32 touches last week. I still think he is the focal point. However, the Jets defense is pretty good. Okay, they're pretty good. So I think what's going to happen is a short dump-off pass to Mr. Kupp.
Well, they're better pass defense than they are run defense.
Yeah.
So you might see more runs out of Kyren Williams or even short passes. Because like I said, the game's going to be cold, and if it's windy, you'll finally get your wish, and Williams will have a lot of short passing yards.
Wow. I've been waiting for that all year, and it hasn't happened. All right. So that's what we have over there with the Rams and the Jets, who we feel as though you should start, who really you should focus. Oh, we need to talk about Matthew Stafford. What do you think about Stafford here? Do you think Stafford is going to have a phenomenal game against the New York Jets? What do you think here? I think he's more or less like he needs the weather to be favored on his side.
This might be a bad weather game for him. And not because it's going to be rainy or windy or snowy, but because it's going to be cold.
I think so.
You're talking about temperatures not even reaching freezing tomorrow. So it's going to be tough for him. And you get hit a couple of times, not on a grass field. It's a turf field, and it hurts.
Yeah, it sure does.
So, and he's not a young guy. Just like Aaron Rodgers is. So you can, I think it's going to be, he's not going to want to get hit often, and he's not going to want to go down. No quarterback probably wants to do that even in a perfect game. Mm-hmm. But in a game like this with the weather, it just hurts a little bit more. He will get rid of the ball a lot faster.
Right.
So that's why it's more of a, I believe when you say it's more of a Cooper Kupp game.
Yep, yeah. I do too. All right, next game is the Eagles at the Commanders here. It's a big game right here because you're going to have Jaden Daniels facing the Eagles, and he didn't do well the last time he played the Eagles. The Eagles kind of controlled. They held him at bay. He didn't come off like he's used to doing. However, it's a different little Jaden Daniels here. He's played well the last 2 weeks. Their run game. Brian Robinson against the Eagles only has 63 yards the last game, 1 catch against the Eagles the last game. Eagles are still playing for that number one first pick.
This might be the game of the week. I mean, Washington has something to prove. They're home in front of their fans, and they're still fighting for the division. Mm-hmm. And again, like you said, they want to show that they compete with the big guys.
That's right, the big dogs. That's right. It's going to be clear, 29 degrees, still cold.
Yeah.
It's going to be cold.
All up and down the East Coast is cold.
It's going to be cold. Dan Daniels is going to try to do what he does, pass. I'm not sure if he throws the ball deep much. Scary Terry is the guy out there. He's had a phenomenal year. You drafted McLaurin, possibly 5th round and beyond in your draft. He's paid dividends for you all year long. Brian Robinson, I'm going to say temper expectation on Brian Robinson Jr. here. I really am. He doesn't get the ball at the backfield much. It's just straight north and south. They hand the ball off, and hopefully he could catch something in between. He's not a super fast running back. He's a power back. But the Eagles got phenomenal defensive tackles out there. Okay, I'm predicting another 63 yards, if so. I really do.
Yes, I'm agreeing with you, Kamish. This is going to be more a game that Jaden Daniels is going to have to put on his back.
Yep.
He's going to have to create something. He's just not going to be able to drop back, hand the ball off to Robinson or just drop back and pass it to McLaurin. He's going to be creating.
That's
he
right.
has to create more in this game more so than any other
That's
game.
correct. And with the Eagles, Hurts still is the main guy out there. He's the main. He's a must start. Saquon. Is Saquon going to show up week number 16 against the Command? I think he does. I think Saquon finally gives you that maybe possibly 2-touchdown game, maybe 102 yards, 110 yards rushing, maybe 2 touchdowns this game. I feel that way. He's finally he's gonna carry you into your championship game. And Mr. Brown, AJ Brown, the squeaky wheel finally got fed last week. All right, because you know
And he got hurt.
You know how he is. Yeah, but. You know how he is. Devontae Smith, temper expectations on Devontae.
No, I think AJ's not playing.
I didn't see he was out. I didn't see he was out.
Even if he does play, I think Devontae's going to have a better game than AJ.
Well, if AJ Brown is out, then
But I will say this: if Saquon goes off like you think he's going to go
I
off,
think so.
Then obviously Washington's, they're not going to win, obviously. But then you got to temper your expectations against the 2 wide receivers. Period.
Yeah. All right, that's who we got. The tight end. I don't think you start the tight end over there at all, unless you
Calvin Carroll?
unless you're really hurting at the tight end position. He might get you a couple catches here and there, maybe a sneaky touchdown, but that's what you're gonna.
Jalen Hurts, how many touchdowns for the tush push for him?
2.
2?
2.
Okay.
I say.
So that's 2 for Saquon and 2 for Hurts right there. You're
think
already
so.
talking 28 points.
I think
That's
so.
That's too much for Washington to overcome.
I think so. All right, next game, Vikings at the Seahawks. This one here, it's going to be rainy. A 90% chance of rain. It's going to be an ugly, sloppy game in Seattle, okay? We all have seen the last couple of weeks how rainy games affect the passing games, which means they're going to probably run the ball more. Geno Smith, they said he practiced all week. However, that knee, listen, you don't just heal in 1 week. He's still going to be a little gimpy. They have to win against the tough Vikings defense here. Mr. Walker's finally coming back. It kind of hurts the Charbonnet owners. Okay, they're going to split. Walker's going to start. All right, we're going to see how that calf injury goes. I got a feeling. Walker's going to go out there, and after a couple of plays, he's going to be sidelined again. I have a feeling.
You see, this is the same way I feel about Breece Hall.
I have a feeling it's going to happen. He's going to be. Where's Walker? You're going to be watching the game. You're going to be like, where's Walker? He's going to be a sideline with his helmet on, just standing there.
Yep.
And then you're going to get the report saying, re-injured the
Questionable
calf.
return.
Right. You're going to see that. All right. And you can't have that during your playoff games. All right. That's how I feel. All right. Again, just
So that being said,
JSN has taken over the number one. I think he's the number one. He's taken over Metcalf's position. He really has.
yes.
I think they're double teaming Metcalf. I'm not sure if he's injured. He can't get open the way he used to. Geno loves JSN, but the rain is gonna affect a lot of things here. Okay, that's how I feel. So if you need to start somebody with the Seahawks, JSN is definitely a start. Walker, are you starting Walker week 16? Are we doing this?
No.
You're not starting Walker.
I'm not starting.
I'm not starting Walker either. Are you starting Charbonnet?
Yes.
I
As
agree.
a flex.
I agree. You start Charbonnet as a flex, in my opinion. All right.
If it's going to rain like it is,
Yes, it is.
like they say it is, then you're going to have to rely on the
Right.
run game a little bit more, and just to go back to the Vikings now.
That's right.
Jefferson temper expectations.
Yep. Addison,
Addison. I think Aaron Jones might be the guy that you're looking for.
Darno, temporary expectation with Darno because he likes to air it out. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a little different out there when it's raining.
We'll see if it's going to be. If it's one of those rainy games where it's 90% chance of rain and it stops and then goes, stops and then goes. Then all bets are off. You can throw within that.
That being said, make sure you check out the weather with the wind, how the wind's the forecast for the wind. We don't know. However, with the kickers, all right, Meyer and the kicker from the Vikings, maybe pick up someone else to stream for this week number 16. All right, the Patriots at Buffalo. All right, it's going to be 17 degrees in Buffalo. No snow, believe it or not. No snow, but it's cold, windy in Buffalo. That wind coming off that water over there.
Okay, so expectations for Buffalo.
Oh my God, Josh Allen's gonna eat like
Josh
you won't believe. He's gonna.
He's going to run the ball. He's going to be a one-man show.
Allen's gonna run, I believe, 2 touchdowns if they get into the red zone. He's possibly gonna throw for 2 touchdowns. Allen is going to carry you into your championship game. He's gonna win you your championship.
He might very well do that. Yes,
Allen is
and
gonna
the MVP while he's doing it.
Yes, he is. I think Allen is the guy. Shakir, He's still the number one out there. However, with Keon Coleman out there and Kincaid out there, they're taking away the looks from Shakir Moore. Kincaid, listen, the tight ends are a hard position to start. Okay, Kincaid is a startable tight end. He'll probably give you maybe 9 points, 10 points, hopefully. Touchdowns, you could forget about it. In the red zone, it's tough for any wide receiver, any tight end in the red zone with Buffalo because Allen's going to do it all.
Yeah, it's either going to be
Allen
they
or the
not only have Allen, but they have other decent running backs there.
Well,
they
they
have
got
Ray
Cook.
Davis and Cook.
Yeah.
So
Oh, Mr. Johnson as well, getting the catches.
yes,
in the backfield.
he's getting the catches though. So you could see a lot of different people at the goal line. You better hope that if you're a Dalton Kincaid or a Khalil Shakir, that touchdown is going to be 20 yards or more.
Yes, because he'll throw the ball if they're on a 30-yard line on their 30.
Yeah.
If he gets on the 15, you can forget it. He's not.
It's
He's
going
not
to be running all day.
He's going to run all day. And with the Patriots, it's going to be a tough game for Drake May. It's going to be a tough game in my opinion. Any wide receiver for the Patriots is going to be a tough game. I think the only one here probably is Hunter Henry. He's going to be looking short passing maybe. Do you think any wide receiver for the Patriots are going to do anything?
You might have a Bourne sighting,
or
but you're not going to get much.
or Pop Douglas. What do you think?
I think this is more of a game for Antonio Gibson. You're going to see probably it's going to be a lot of catch up, so you're going to get a lot of throws out of the backfield. Ramadre, I wish they would give him the catches. He can catch the ball, but they're not probably going to do that. If you have Ramadre, you have no other choice. You start him, but you better hope that game stays close, which it probably will not be.
Yep. All right. Next game, Jaguars at the Raiders. All right, it's gonna be a dome. Mr. O'Connell is playing here. I think Jacoby. Listen, Mr. Myers out there, Mayer. All right, he didn't get catches till like the fourth quarter, and in the fourth quarter that came about, he was the focal point. It was garbage time, but who cares? We love garbage time in fantasy football. Myers is the one to start out there. Brock Bowers, that's big because O'Connell comes back. He focuses on Brock Bowers, so fire up Brock Bowers. He's going to be nice out there. Sincere McCormick gone. Abdullah is probably the running back out there. If you're really hurting at the running back position, I think Abdullah's the guy, not Madison, in my opinion. Abdullah's going to get the first crack. Okay, and possibly the goal line carries as well. That's it for the Raiders. I'm not saying start O'Connell. I'm saying Brock Bowers, Myers, and that's it for the Raiders.
And for Jacksonville, I say you got to go with the only guy that I really think that you should be starting out there. Well, no, there's two. I'll take that back. Brenton Strange was going to be the second one that I wasn't sure about. But, yeah, I think you got to start Brenton Strange. And obviously, Brian Thomas Jr.
Oh, yeah, Brian Thomas.
Who's been on fire since he got off his bye week. They finally realized they got to give him the ball early and often, and he's continued to produce. So if you have him and he's on your team, he might propel you. He might be that wide receiver, too, that propels you to your championship game.
And I also think ATM, I think, does decent this week against the Raiders.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
I just don't trust him.
I don't trust him either, but I think he might be the guy this week. Okay, I'm not saying he's going to give you 2 touchdowns, but I think ATM gives you a decent game. All right, next game. 49ers at Miami. Beautiful day, 74 degrees, gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous, 74 degrees, no rain, no nothing.
See myself on
in
a
Miami.
hammock right there, right now.
All right. You temper expectations with Tua here because you know what? The 49ers defense is playing tough, okay, in Miami.
Have they?
Yes, they have. Listen to me. Tua plays, for some reason, he has trouble with the intermediate passing, which he loves to go in the middle of the field, and that's where the 49ers, where they all lurk. They're like sharks in the water right there in
It's
that
funny
area.
you mention it because they lost last week to Houston, who their coach came from the San Francisco Tree. So they play a similar defense.
Yeah.
So you're right.
It's the same thing.
He could be facing the same thing he faced against
Same
Houston.
thing.
Does he take away anything from that loss against Houston and bring into the San Fran game? I don't know.
I think, listen, Waddle probably won't play. They're going to focus on Tyreek. This game is going to be Achane all day again. We're going to see the passes out the backfield, the screens out the backfield. Jonnu Smith, your guy, is going to be featured a lot in this game. Okay, possibly a little sprinkle here with
It's
Mr.
funny. Last year was the tight end to have at the end of the year was Njoku. This year is Jonnu.
Yeah,
he's the same type of tight end numbers wise. He's going to get you as Njoku did last year.
The problem with that is their linebackers are fast, and when Jonnu gets the ball, when he catches it on a 2, on a 3, meaning 3 yards down the field, they're going to tackle him quickly. The yak yards, in my opinion, are not going to be there They're not going to be there because their linebackers are just too fast. He will get the catches. I just don't think he's going to get the yak like he's used to.
And Tyreek?
Tyreek, I don't know. You temper expectations Tyreek because you know what? He hasn't been Tyreek all year, okay? And for some reason, it seems as though they're not focusing on getting the ball to Tyreek more, okay? I think they're trying to provide the run game with Miami, and it's just not working because they're down about 2 offensive linemen. They're getting one back, which is Mr. Hunt. They blew up their right tackle. They couldn't open up holes.
So, all right, well, you mentioned Jonnu, you mentioned Achane, you mentioned Tyreek's disappearing act, and Waddle's not going to play. So what do you think about the rookie?
Jalen Wright?
No.
Who are you talking about?
Wide receiver rookie.
Oh, Mr. Washington.
Yes.
He got 5 targets last week. I believe he got
50. Yes.
Yeah, 4 catches, 50. Maybe they try to incorporate him. Maybe he's a slot receiver, and it would be nice for them to incorporate this young man. He reminds me of without the speed of Tyreek, because a lot of people don't have the speed of Tyreek, but he reminds me of Tyreek Hill. Little undersized, but can catch the ball, gives you yak. Hopefully they utilize him. We'll see if they put packages out there for him. But I'm not starting him in week number 16. That's not going to happen.
Absolutely not. And I just wanted to play around with you. Pique your interest.
No, don't pique my interest. It's going to be horrible. All right, with the 49ers, Brock Purdy, you start here because Miami can't tackle anybody. They can't tackle you in a phone booth. They just can't do it. So Patrick Taylor is going to be getting the start here. So this is what I'm talking about. Patrick Taylor here. All right, Patrick Taylor is going to get the start here. I'm faced with. I'll give you an example. Patrick Taylor or Brian Robinson. I've been sending my consigliere some texts on the side off air, and everyone says B-Rob. I don't know about this, man. Miami's run defense, even though they said in the last 5 weeks they've given up a total of 2.8 yards for the running backs for the last couple of weeks. I still
2.8 yards a carry.
Yeah, I still don't know, man.
I would have to go with your friends there on B-Rob. I mean, Pat Taylor. I understand you could throw any running back there, including yourself, in the San Fran running system.
Oh, you like my 9.440?
Yeah. You're right below the 10.40, but I don't think Pat Taylor had his chance to do that this year.
Not really.
Yes, he did. He had chances to spell Jordan Mason. He had chances to spell Garendo. I mean, yeah, he's there because basically he's the last man standing. Let me tell you, if Abandokonda comes out there and he blows up a couple of plays, Pat Taylor might be on the bench the rest of the game.
God, don't say that. All right. Let's continue.
Brian Robinson is a more secured play, and I think that's why your friend said that. Your consiglieres.
All right. So,
besides that, I'm the only consigliere.
With the 49ers here, Jennings is going to be a temporary expectation with Debo. Okay, he is going to get the ball. Now, Debo is going to give you a better game, and I'm going to tell you why. They're going to get Debo the ball. Miami, again, cannot tackle when the person catches the ball. Debo's a strong individual. He's a strong runner. He's a big guy.
So after all an entire wasted year with Debo, he's going to have his coming out party against your Dolphins. That's what you're saying.
I'm not saying he's going to give you 20-something points, but I think he's going to give you more points than last week if that's all you have.
So if you're going to you're playing in this game, round 2 of the playoffs, you're trying to, do I start a Debo to get to the championship
Give me someone
game?
else. Addison in the rain?
Jaden Reed.
I'm starting Debo.
Tank Dell. I shouldn't say that. That's a Debo all the way.
So, by the way, I forgot to talk about. I'm not. Yeah, we're gonna get to.
We're gonna get to them.
Okay. Tank Dell. I'm starting Debo over Tank Dell. Yes.
You start Debo over Mooney.
Yes.
Over McLeod.
Yes.
Over Marvin Harrison. Over DK Metcalf.
Maybe. Maybe.
All right. So then you're basically saying you would start him to go to your championship game.
Yeah, if that's all I have, other options, yes, because
right.
they can't tackle anybody. All right, Kittle is going to eat against Miami's secondary as well, so he's the guy who's going to carry you as well. All right, next game on the docket here is going to be Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Cowboys Dome. Weather's good. Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb is eating. It doesn't matter. CeeDee Lamb, he eats wherever he goes.
Hey, listen, I hope the Cowboys do keep it close. That way the Buccaneers got to keep throwing the ball.
Yeah. So CeeDee Lamb's going to be the guy. Rico Dodell has been doing well last couple of weeks. He's a must start as well. That's it for the Cowboys out there.
Ferguson?
No, you don't start Ferguson, in my opinion. Not in your weeks, unless he's all you have. Week number 16 is not really going to get you much, in my opinion.
They have the Jalen twins out there,
Yeah.
Tolbert and Brooks, I believe.
Yeah, no.
They both got a touchdown
I know.
the other week.
But no, I'm not starting him in week number 16. All right, with the Buccaneers, Mr. Bucky Irvin, you fire him. Now, the Cowboys' defense is not that bad. They have a good pass rush, but, Baker Mayfield is a seasoned vet. He knows what he's doing out there. He reads the defenses, the blitz packages.
Oh, you know what? I just thought of someone, just thinking about now. Would you start Debo over McMillan?
Maybe. That's a good one. Maybe. I would have to look at the numbers. I got to look at how many targets.
I think McMillan's going to have a good game this week.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Mike Evans is always going to have a good game, but I think McMillan is filling into the role that you predicted in the beginning of the year
I
that
sure
he was
did.
going to fill.
I said it.
It was going to be next year because
and I traded him, but
I know. Well, let's not talk about trading or who has him
But
or
yes,
whatever. But I
yes,
think
I did.
as a wide receiver,
I drafted
he's filling
him.
that role.
I drafted him in our dynasty, and I said this guy is going to be the next. He's going to take over for Godwin, and finally is coming to light now because he played in that Washington Husky.
And what's best is if you take a look at him, you could tell it's clicking in his head.
He's starting to slow down.
And when that happens, he's looking for the ball more and more.
Yes,
He's
he is.
confident.
Yep.
And that's what I see. And that's what I think he's going to have. He's had a good last 2 weeks, and he's going to probably continue that this week.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I would have to think about that. But Mike Evans is going to be Mike Evans. He's the guy. He's the man. He's been carrying guys for many, many years. So that he's a must start. Bucky Irvin's a must start. And Rashad White has begun the ball at the backfield over here and there. So you know what? He's a must start as well.
Well, they've been splitting, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about Bucky Irvin only getting 50. He's only on the field 55% of the time. And for
Yeah,
him
but-
to put up numbers like that with only half a playlist.
Yeah, but Bucky makes every opportunity count. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? He makes every
absolutely.
opportunity count. Good for him. I'm glad I see it. K. Dotton, I believe, is nursing a little injury there. I think with all the weapons back, K. Dotton goes back to maybe tight end, I don't know. He might get you a little something.
82.
Yeah, tight end, whatever he is. All right, so temporary expectation, K. Dotton. All right, the final game on the docket here is the Saints at the Green Bay Packers. It's going to be 30 degrees, 34% chance of snow in Green Bay. Jordan Love. Listen, we've seen Jordan Love all year. We've wanted more passes out of Jordan Love with the addition of Josh Jacobs. They don't need to pass. Josh Jacobs has been doing it all, and he's been doing it all very efficiently. So why risk passing? It's hurting the wide receivers. It's hurting Jordan Love, but it's not hurting Josh Jacobs. You Josh Jacob owners, God bless you.
Yeah, you're in a good spot this week.
You're in a good spot because
Saints run defense is not good.
it's horrible. It's horrible. So Josh Jacobs is a must start. Jordan Love, I don't know. I mean, listen, if you're expecting 4 touchdowns from Jordan Love, it's not going to happen this week. In my opinion, it's not going to happen. They're going to run the ball a lot, control the clock. He might give you 1 touchdown here or maybe 2 touchdowns. And Dontavian Wicks is a no. Jaden Reed, you better temper your super expectations on him. You better temper that because he hasn't been getting the ball at all much this year. Christian Watson is maybe a deep bomb threat, but with the snow possibly coming in Green Bay, I don't know. But then again, they always play well in the snow anyway. They're used to it as well. Your tight end, Mr. Kraft, what does he do this week with the Saints?
He might get you 5 catches for 30 yards.
All right.
And I think that's about it. I don't think he gets a touchdown because I think what you just said is what's going to happen, which is they're going to run the ball. Jacobs is going to probably have 3 touchdowns on the game.
Yes. Not good for you.
No, it's fine. I'm not playing against Jacobs.
I thought you were playing him in the other league. Okay. The Saints, obviously, they're
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. Are you talking about in Dynasty? I don't know.
No.
Maybe.
The other one.
No, I'm fair. Aaron Jones.
Oh, so with the Saints, they're starting Rattler here. Rattler, the rookie, he's going to get gobbled up by the Green Bay Packers defense. Kendrick Miller, you temper expectation with Mr. Miller. He's all they have. Their wide receivers, Scatlin is not going to do well. They opened up the window for Chris Olave. I'm not sure why. Just let him sit. come back next year.
There's 3 weeks left?
Yeah. Let 'em
Why?
s-
Why
yeah.
bother waiting? Why?
Why?
I don't
I don't understand him, but whatever. Jawan Johnson, I started him last week. I thought he was going to do better. However, temper expectation with him. I just don't think Rattler's going to get the ball out quick enough. I think they're going to be down. However, they might get some garbage time out there, okay, because the Packers will be up. They'll be controlling the clock, and their defense is going to be phenomenal. All right, so that's pretty much it for the Packers. And really nothing else to write home about with the Saints at all. Anything?
No, I hope they score some points, though, facing a Packers defense in one of the leagues.
Yeah.
So-
We'll see what happens. All right, my friend. That is week number 16 for your fantasy football playoffs for stardoms and situms. Hopefully, we gave you some information on who we feel you should start, who you should sit, because there's a lot of question marks out there. There's a lot of who do I start, who do I sit. But, that being said, good luck on all your games. On behalf of the co-commissioner and myself, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. That's, a lot of people going to the championship game next week. Let's see.
And I'm still in one of my leagues. I'm still going for my championship game. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. And if you like, subscribe, leave a comment, whatever you want to do. I really do appreciate it. We really appreciate it. So good luck on your games, unless
Yes.
you're playing the co-commissioner or myself. Peace.
Take care.